In a small village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a group of people who had fallen into a troubling habit. Every day, instead of enjoying the beauty around them, they spent their time pointing out each other's faults and mistakes. The village square, once a place of laughter and joy, had become a spot for complaints and arguments. Little May, a curious 10-year-old girl, couldn't understand why everyone was so unhappy. She remembered a time when people smiled more and helped each other. Now it seemed like nobody could say a kind word. One day, as May was walking home from school, she noticed an old man she had never seen before. He had a long white beard and kind eyes that sparkled with wisdom. The old man was sitting on a bench, watching the villagers argue with a sad expression on his face. May gathered her courage and approached him. "Hello, sir," she said politely. "Are you new to our village?" The old man smiled warmly. "Hello, young one. My name is Master Chen, and I'm just passing through. But tell me, why does everyone here look so unhappy?" May sighed and explained how the villagers couldn't stop finding faults in each other. "It's like they've forgotten how to see the good in people," she said. Master Chen nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, I see. They've fallen into the trap of the fault-finding mirror." May's eyes widened with curiosity. "The fault-finding mirror? What's that?" Master Chen leaned in and spoke in a soft voice, as if sharing a secret. "Long ago, a wise teacher named Buddha talked about how easy it is to see faults in others, but how hard it is to see our own. It's like we're holding up a mirror, but instead of seeing ourselves clearly, we only see what's wrong with everyone else." May thought about this for a moment. "But how can we stop doing that? Everyone seems stuck in this habit." Master Chen's eyes twinkled. "Well, young May, would you like to help me teach the village a lesson that could change everything?" Excited by the idea, May nodded eagerly. Master Chen then shared his plan with her. The next day, May and Master Chen went around the village, inviting everyone to a special event in the square that evening. Curiosity got the better of the villagers, and as the sun began to set, they all gathered to see what was happening. Master Chen stood in the center of the square, surrounded by large objects covered in cloth. "Good evening, friends," he began. "I've noticed that your village has lost its joy. Tonight, I want to show you something that might help bring it back." With a flourish, he pulled away the cloths to reveal several tall mirrors. The villagers gasped, seeing their reflections staring back at them. "For the next week," Master Chen announced, "I challenge you to look in these mirrors every morning and every night. But here's the twist. When you look in the morning, I want you to find one thing about yourself that you can improve. And when you look at night, I want you to remember 3 good things you saw in others during the day." The villagers murmured among themselves, unsure about this strange challenge. But May stepped forward bravely. "I'll do it," she declared. Inspired by her courage, others began to agree. The first few days were hard. People were so used to looking for faults in others that they struggled to see good things. And looking for their own faults made them feel uncomfortable. But slowly, things began to change. Mr. Lee, the grumpy baker, realized that his habit of yelling at customers was driving people away. He started to greet people with a smile instead. Mrs. Zhang, who always complained about her neighbors' noisy children, noticed how the kids helped their parents with chores and began to appreciate their energy. As the villagers focused on improving themselves and noticing the good in others, the atmosphere in the village started to shift. People smiled more, helped each other out, and the arguments in the square became less frequent. By the end of the week, the village felt like a different place. When Master Chen gathered everyone together again, there were smiles on every face. "My friends," he said, "you've learned a valuable lesson. By letting go of the habit of finding faults in others, you've freed your minds to see the good in yourselves and those around you." The villagers nodded in agreement, feeling lighter and happier than they had in years. Master Chen continued, "Remember, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes and have room to grow. But when we focus too much on others' faults, we miss the chance to improve ourselves and see the wonderful qualities in each person." Before he left, Master Chen taught them a simple practice to keep this lesson alive. Each morning, look in a mirror and think of one way you can be better that day. Then, throughout the day, try to notice 3 good things about the people you meet. The villagers loved this idea and promised to keep practicing. They realized that this new habit made their minds feel freer and their hearts fuller. As Master Chen prepared to leave, little Mei raised her hand. "But what if we see someone doing something really wrong?" she asked. "Should we just ignore it?" Master Chen smiled kindly. "That's a very good question, Mei. Sometimes we do need to help others see their mistakes, especially if they might hurt themselves or others. But there's a right way to do this." He explained, "If you need to point out someone's mistake, do it privately and with kindness. Explain why it's a problem and how it affects others, but also remember to praise the good things they do. This makes it easier for them to listen and want to change." The villagers nodded, understanding that this approach was much better than their old habit of complaining and arguing in public. As Master Chen waved goodbye, the villagers felt grateful for the valuable lesson they had learned. They knew that quitting the habit of fault-finding had truly freed their minds and made their village a happier place. From that day on, the village became known throughout the region as a place of joy and kindness. People from far and wide came to visit and learn the secret of their happiness. And the villagers were always happy to share Master Chen's teachings. Look for the good in others and the faults in yourself. This is the path to a free and happy mind. Years passed, and the villagers never forgot the lesson of the mirrors. They taught it to their children and their children's children. And so, the once fault-finding village became a shining example of what can happen when we let go of bad habits and open our hearts to the good in ourselves and others. Even today, visitors to the village are struck by the kindness and joy they find there. The mirrors still stand in the village square, not as a challenge anymore, but as a reminder of the valuable lesson they learned. And little Mei? She grew up to become a wise teacher herself, traveling to other villages to share the story of how her home transformed. Wherever she went, she would say, "Remember, when you point one finger at others, 3 fingers point back at you. So instead of finding faults in others, look for the good in them and the faults in yourself. This is the path to a free and happy mind." And so, the lesson of the Village of Mirrors continues to spread, helping people everywhere to free their minds from the habit of fault-finding and discover the joy of seeing the good in themselves and others. Moral of the story. The moral of the story is that freeing our minds from the habit of constantly finding faults in others can lead to greater happiness and a more harmonious community. This story teaches us several important lessons. Number 1, it's easy to see faults in others, but much harder to recognize our own shortcomings. Number 2, when we focus on finding faults in others, we miss the opportunity to improve ourselves and appreciate the good qualities in those around us. Number 3, by shifting our focus to self-improvement and looking for the positive in others, we can create a more joyful and supportive environment. Number 4, no one is perfect, and understanding this helps us be more compassionate and forgiving towards others and ourselves. Number 5, changing a negative habit, like fault-finding, can have a transformative effect not just on individuals, but on entire communities. Number 6, there are constructive ways to address genuine issues or mistakes, which involve private, kind communication and a balance of critique with praise. Number 7, regular self-reflection and actively noticing the good in others can help maintain a positive mindset and relationships. Number 8, by freeing our minds from negativity and fault-finding, we open ourselves to seeing the world in a brighter, more appreciative way. In essence, the story encourages us to look for the good in others and the faults in yourself as a path to personal growth, happier relationships, and a more positive community. If this story opened your eyes, open your heart too. Smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-freeing wisdom. Share your thoughts in the comments. How will you quit the fault-finding habit? Don't keep this lesson to yourself. Share the video and spread the positivity. Together, we can build a kinder world, one view at a time. See you in the next video.